Stop. You're being one of those weird YouTube husbands. Stop. This was your own personal opinion, Tony.
She wanted me to come. Let me have some of yours. Sexiest life ever.
Okay.
And then here came this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Sid and this is Tony. And today we are talking about the truth about getting married at 20. First start off this video, I will say that we are Christians. I don't know why that always has to play into why Christians get married at a young age. So I thought a good talking point could be, why do Christians get married at a young age and why we felt we wanted to get married at a young age. And I also want to say, my friend the other day asked me, she was like, do they just get married young because they want to have sex or why? And then I was going to ask you, why on earth did you want to get married to me so young?
Because according to the Bible, you can't have sex until you're married. Okay, in reality, why? Well, it's simple, because especially when you're a Christian, you have these, these values and these morals you want to stick with. Obviously, you don't want to live together, you don't want to have sex until you're married. And so, like, in reality, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. So that was a check. And then we already had kind of our future planned with our business. We already had a business started. It's like, that's a check. So, like, why wouldn't you get married? People might not get married because they're, like, scared, which I understand that. But also, we're just, my thought process is, like, if you make a decision, the only way you're going to veer away from that decision is if you psych yourself out or if you go by feelings or... it's just like you make a decision, you stick with it. And I know we're going to make a video about that in the future, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But yeah.
What would you say has been the most difficult thing about being married at a young age? For me, I would say that our living situation, because our finances were not intact. We had just started our business, so we did not have 2 years of business yet, so we could not apply to get a house. We did not want to rent. We didn't want to live in an apartment. So we ended up living with my parents, and that wasn't the struggle itself, because we actually really enjoyed living with my parents, and we had the whole basement area, and it was kind of like our own little apartment. But I would say that was the hardest part for me, because I felt like I couldn't truly be a wife yet, because I was living under my mom, who was like the best wife. So it was like I felt like insecure to like do that as well, if that makes sense, because I don't know, it was just like a weird situation. And so I feel like I didn't even become all that God has called me to be as a wife until I was like in our own house.
Yeah.
And we lived under my parents' roof, married, for like a little over a year.
Yeah. One of the things is just like you realize you're married and you're not solo anymore. So like anything you do, you have to consider your other half. And so like, this is like a weird example, but this is my example. But it's like, if I wanted to stay up and play Xbox in the middle of the night, it's not going to be as easy anymore. I can't just make a decision that, hey, I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. and play Xbox, because like...
Some husbands do.
Some husbands do, but I don't know why I don't. It's better not to.
And I don't tell you not to.
She doesn't tell me not to, but I don't know. It's obvious. That's obviously a benefit. It's better that I don't stay up late playing Xbox. But it's just like one of those things where you can't just like leave the house and go somewhere. Like you have another half, and you're like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to go shop, or like grocery shop or whatever. But it's like, even that wasn't really hard. But I think that was the biggest change, is just including like it's not just you anymore. You can't just go. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, you can.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of couples out there that are very independent, and they do pretty much just like their own separate lives. But I don't know, for us, like, we are very much like combined. I feel like we work together. We obviously live together. We have the same group of friends. Like, we obviously go to the same church. Like, we do everything together. We grocery shop together.
We're so together. Even when I used to stay up and play Xbox, we have different rooms in this house with TVs. I could play in the living room, I could play downstairs, but even if I wanted to play at night, she would make me go.
This was your own personal opinion, Tony.
She wanted me to come play in the bedroom so she wasn't alone while she was going to sleep.
Because I don't like sleeping by myself. I feel like it was a subconscious decision. Like, we never talked about it, but like we just go to bed at the same time. Because like my parents don't go to bed at the same time, and that was never like weird. They just had different work schedules.
Yeah, that works with their schedule.
Yeah, and like it was never weird or anything. And I don't know if I have like an opinion whether or not, because like I'm actually not against that at all. But for us, like, we just go to bed at the same time because it's like, I feel like it'd be really weird if I was just up by myself. I don't know. I just feel like personally, like, that would just be weird. Because, like, even the dog is on the same sleep schedule as us. Like, we'll say, like, time to go to bed. And he'll literally, like, get up and go to his bed in our room. And, like, we just all go to bed at the same time. Even when we have friends over, we're like, all right, everyone. And if they spend the night, we're like, lights off, we're all going to bed.
And even if I can't fall asleep, I'll stay in bed watching something on YouTube, like a sermon or something to get my mind to go to sleep and stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Okay, so I think another talking point could be our families and what they thought, because I just graduated high school at 18. That's when Tony and I met. We got engaged when I was 19, and then we had a pretty, I mean, I guess not that long of an engagement, less than a year, I guess, but whatever, a year of being engaged, and then we got married at 20. So, how did that go with you asking my dad?
Asking her dad went really well. I have a voice memo of it still, and I think that's
Does he
really
know
good.
you have a voice memo?
I think we told him, but he didn't ask to listen.
Yeah, he was just like, okay.
Yeah. So I have.
Yeah, I'm that sneaky that I had Tony record him asking my dad to marry me. So I was there too. I was actually really surprised. My dad was totally fine with it, and then my mom was too, and so it just worked out. That was definitely a God thing, because I feel like if my kid was like, hey, I'm getting engaged, and it was 19, I'd be like, you don't even know. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, and I honestly don't know if I would even recommend, like, a 19-year-old to getting engaged. I just feel like God had, like, a specific, like, purpose for us, and it was just so clear that we were, you know, needing to get married at a young age, because God has already done so much through us already after being married for 2.5 years, like ministry-wise, business-wise, like so many different things. And so I feel like for our specific life plan, that's what needed to happen. But I don't know.
It's just different with everyone. It also depends on your maturity level. It depends where you are in life too, because that plays a big factor. Like, I wasn't going to college, so like I didn't have school holding me down, like, you know. And then she was about to go into college, but like she was still figuring that all out. So it just really depends there, like what stage of life you are. And I also wasn't the type, like I just said, I stayed at home, so I wasn't the type that cared to go out and party. So it wasn't like I was like, man, I'm throwing away my party life or anything. Like I had nothing to like so-called throw away, but so it's easier for me to make that transition too. But I think it just depends your maturity level, where you are in life. So if you are 19 and you're like us, then it would work, I feel. But if you aren't ready, it just depends on your maturity level.
Like,
thirsty.
Tony, stop.
What? I drank all my drink. It's empty. Let me have some of yours. Okay, that's another topic.
You're so annoying. The reason why I put these out here is because, one, they're cute. Two, I wanted to have coffee, but I don't really like to drink coffee with my lipstick on, and I already had coffee today, so I don't want to drink 2 coffees, and so like just...
It's just a placebo effect.
You're so annoying. Okay, and our final talking point is how we knew that we were the one for each other. So I kind of touched base on it for me, is that like I knew what was out there, and so when I met Tony, I was just like, I don't really want to search around anymore. But I wrote down qualities that I was looking for in a husband, and it would be to be patient, to be motivated, to be loving to all people, and to have ministry as one of the most important things in them that kind of like drives them, because I've always been very ministry based, and I always knew like I wanted to do ministry, so I'd need someone that would want to like run alongside me and like support me with that, because sometimes dreams don't make sense, and sometimes my ideas don't either, and so I need to have someone that like would believe with me and pray with me, and that is completely Tony, because I've had so many crazy ideas, and he's just right there supporting me through it all. So I definitely saw those things in him, and the fact that he loves the Lord so much, and it'll never be like, I never feel like he puts me above God. Like, it's always literally God is above all things. And I know that sounds like that's very obvious to say, but I feel like I see a lot of relationships out there where God isn't the first priority. And I feel like it's very rare, even though I am a Christian and I'm around a bunch of other Christians, that Tony literally does put God first. And so that was really important to me, and how I knew.
That's good. Well, how I knew was because I wrote down a piece of paper. I said, God, I want a smoking hot wife The sexiest wife ever.
Okay.
And then here came this. No, but how did I know? Besides having someone I was attracted to, I wanted someone who really loved the Lord. And that was a big one for me because some of the girls before I would try talking to, and they would say they loved Jesus and they said they loved to go to church, but they never did. And so having someone that was not lying to me and really loved the Lord was really the selling point. And I'll never forget the night that I knew that she was for real serious about loving the Lord. And then I knew, wow, she's serious and I know she's the one. And I also prayed a specific prayer saying, Lord, if she is the one, I had a list, but I also said, you know what? She needs to like YouTube, but not only like YouTube, but record videos because you don't see a lot of people making YouTube videos.
Isn't that kind of like weirdly specific?
It was very specific.
But like in a good way, but just like so weird because like...
Yeah, like who says YouTube? I just loved YouTube.
And
then,
also keep in mind, this was before like I feel like social media is like even bigger. Like this is when making YouTube videos was still weird.
Yeah, about so, for sure. And then so I said, to make sure she's the one, someone that, makes videos. And when I met her and then we got to get along and I found out she made YouTube videos and she loved the Lord, then I knew, okay, she's the one because I was already attracted to her and she's already funny and she already had other qualities. And so just to really put the cherry on top, the Lord answered that one too. And so that's how I knew she was the one.
YouTube is both of our passions. And
I
that's
know,
why...
isn't that funny? It's
I know,
so
and that's
weird.
why if we don't make it, it just doesn't make sense. It's literally, I feel like it's down to like us like actually posting.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Because you guys are great. You guys always support us.
And it's so funny how often we talk about
How much we love YouTube.
how much we love YouTube, how much we just want to do this more. And I think the problem is we have too many things, like all the stuff I try to do on YouTube. Like I have like 4 different channels, so it's just focusing on one, and that's why we decided to do this one because we love vlogging, we love talking, and we love being with each other. And so we're excited because I feel like this channel is going to do that for us.
Yeah, and I'm excited because it definitely makes sense because like we love being together. It's easier to make videos like this because we're always together. And I feel like there's just so many things that we can talk about and like show.
Yeah.
And like with traveling or just like, we're not that big of travelers, but we have a few trips coming up and just like the house and like so many renovations that we have going on. And like just...
And our main focus is obviously ministry, but it's not like the typical ministry. Like we don't want to be pastors unless we were called to that. But like, I don't care to be a pastor. But I've always had a desire to make YouTube videos and share Christ through that. And so
Same.
That's why YouTube is perfect. And we're excited because that's what we get to use this channel for, is to show you guys the joy we have is because of Jesus. And so hopefully that resonates with y'all.
Definitely. And so I'm thankful that you guys, if you've watched this video, that you are here, and we really would appreciate that you would hit the subscribe button down below because it really does make a big impact on putting us out there, and making sure to leave a comment because that really helps the algorithm. So we really need your help with that. And thank you guys for supporting this channel and the dream. And I almost wanted to say right now that I have like 2,200 subscribers, and I'm really excited to see where we'll be at in a year because we will be consistent with this.
Yes.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. Yeah, that was a good video, guys. If you have any suggestions or other like video ideas, let us know down below because we want to make more of these types of videos on top of vlogging. So yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all in our next video.
Adios.
Bye.